This is something interesting. This is a big day for me. Why? My last one. That's it. Goodbye, Pepsi. I think I'll be okay with it. I mean, it's taken me 3 days to put this bottle down, and I don't know. I just don't want it anymore. I got a smoothie thing. I'm going to start making smoothies. My sister bought one of these things. You got the bullet one? It's kind of like, I guess it's a bullet or whatever it is. Let's see what this thing's called. It's called the Magic Bullet, yeah. Single shot. It's a single shot, yeah. Yeah, so I'll be making all kinds of, well, I'm going to attempt to be making stuff like that. So, yeah, this is my last one. I think I'm ready to kick it. I might have one once in a while down the road, but probably the last big bottle I'll buy in a long time. Save me a bit of money. It's about $2 each time, but it's more the health thing. That said, why am I doing it? Well, everybody knows pop is really bad for energy drinks are really bad. The caffeine, the sugar. Just to give you an idea, okay, I cut back. Okay, this is how bad I've been doing. I've been drinking these pretty much religiously, one, sometimes 2 of these a day when I was living in town, especially during the summer. Easy drinking 2 of those a day. I know you're cringing. I know you're cringing. Wait for it. So then I cut down to 1 a day. They've been doing that for, I don't know, quite a few years. Probably about 10 years where I really started doing it. I don't know why I did that. There was me and my roommate, and we just started, you'd buy one and I'd buy one. And, he'd buy one, and then I'd already have one in the fridge. So you just start drinking them and drinking them. You don't think about it. You just do it, right? And I've never had any problems with it. That type of thing. But I am looking into kidney health and stuff like that, and what you call it, the liver health and all stuff like that. And these things are really bad. If you have stones, this is definitely the stuff you don't want to be drinking. I don't have stones yet that I know of. Well, I'm probably sure there's some in there because everybody has it. And it's basically, what this does is it sucks the calcium out of your body and it puts it in there, right? So I figured, well, I'll be preemptive and I'll cut down. So about, I guess, 3 months ago, I started going down to the one little one per day. And then I said, well, why buy one little one when the cost is about 10 cents more for the big one? And just drink it over a few days, which works out to about the same. So just cutting down from a big one down to the smaller one, I went from, and keep this in mind, for about almost 20 years, I've been 180, 185 pounds for 20 years, okay? My mid-20s, I went over 200 a few times just because of the beer and the eating and, that type of thing. And then before that, I was probably 150, 165 forever. And then, mid-20s, stayed in, the 150, 160 range. Then, of course, got a little bit more money, riding around on a motorcycle, wasn't exercising as much, so I went up to about 220s. I got pretty heavy, but, it's just like, because my friends would always be like, hey, you want to go for supper? Hey, you want to go for supper? And at the time, I could afford it. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. So, of course, you eat stupid, and you eat like 3 big meals a day and all that. But I wasn't into the pop as much. Me, I'm more of a, I wouldn't say I have a sweet tooth. Give me steak over anything, you know what I mean? Like, I'm that guy. So, then it's like, okay, just after that, I went down to about 185 pounds. It seems like right after my motorcycle license was gone, because I had to walk more, right? So, okay, well, exercise is good. I've always liked walking and stuff like that. I always try to stay in reasonable shape. So, stayed 185 pounds up until about 3 or 4 months ago. And I cut down, but from that time on, in the 185 pounds, again, you are what you eat. You tend to eat the same all the time and whatever. And I'm not on a diet per se. I just want to be healthier. That's all. I want to start working out again. I want to start doing that. I want to start boxing again. I want to do that stuff. Why? I'm in my 40s. I want to make it to at least my 80s. You know what I mean? That'd be nice. If I can make it to 100, that's even better. Whatever. But I want to do it healthy. I don't want to be an unhealthy 40-year-old. I don't want to be an unhealthy 80-year-old. Give you an example. I go out on my skateboard almost every morning. I didn't go today because it's freaking chilly out there. But I'm probably going to go out on my skateboard. And I'm probably as active or more active than the average 15-year-old with the stuff I do. After that, I'm going out, I'm going to have to cut the grass, I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do that. Right now, I don't work the labor jobs I used to work, so I'm not as, my muscles are not being as worked as what they were, which kind of nice in a way. My back doesn't hurt as much. But I still got to stay active. I still have to stay active. So the skateboard, that's fun. That's active. Fun until you fall off of it. So far, so good. So staying active, okay, fine. You don't have to necessarily become an extreme health nut, but you can cut out the things that are bad for you. So I started going down to, like I say, the smaller bottles, 1 a day, that type of thing. And I've obviously noticed sleeping better, stuff like that. Obviously noticed the weight loss. And how much weight did I lose? Well, I'm in 160. I've been floating, depending, like when I first wake up in the morning, I'm light, but I got down to 165 at one point, 166. I average probably about 168 right now. So that's not even 3 months. And again, that's still eating like a racehorse, And I don't eat really poorly. I don't eat a lot. I don't use salt. I don't use a lot of grease, that type of stuff. I eat a lot of hamburger. I eat a lot of, obviously, barbecues are the thing now. I eat spaghettis. I eat rice. I eat all that kind of stuff. So it's not full salads and all that stuff. I can't do that. One thing about a salad, and this is one thing I notice with people that are like vegetarians and stuff like that, is they all sounds like, oh, I got so much energy, for like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? If I'm going out for the day, I'll grab a meat stick. That's going to stick with me almost most of the day. That's like eating 22 salads, I swear to God. Is it harder? Yeah, it's harder on you probably. But the thing is I like the balance of steak and salad. I think that's the perfect meal, right? I can't do that every night because who can afford steak every night, right? But that said, cutting out the sugar, cutting out the caffeine, these things are addictive. I think energy drinks are worse. So if I drink I've only had maybe about 5 energy drinks in my life, and they nearly killed me. I swear to God, my heart was like fluttering for like 3 days. I had a big bottle of Jolter or whatever. It's like a glass or thing like that, about that big energy drink, and it affected. Some people say it's like being on heroin. And I'm like, if that's what heroin's, and if it's worse than that, there's no way I'd ever want to try that stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I felt like I was going to die. I thought for sure I was taking a heart attack. My body was twitching, my eye was twitching, everything was twitching. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't blink. It's like, I was like, oh my God, how can anybody drink this, let alone several of these a day? And those things are almost guaranteed to give you kidney failure after about 20 years, I think is what, 20 to 22 years is what they're saying this stuff can give you possible kidney failure at. That said, I haven't been drinking it every day like that for quite that long, but pretty long, probably about 15 years I've been doing that, so it's a bad thing, plus all the money you waste on it, right? So this is the last one for now. How committed will I stay to it? Well, it's the last one for now. It's not a complete quit. I'm never going to have one again. But I do realize that it takes a while to kind of detox from it. So cutting down, I was able to cut down. It's not so addictive that you can't kick it at all. But it is a habit. Even if it wasn't addictive, it's the habit of getting the pop. It's the habit. It's a routine, right? And that's what. So you have to change up your routine. So I guess the new routine will be, cucumbers and celery sticks and jam it in there, and then get some other juice and stuff like that. I always drink a lot of water. Because we're on a deep well, there's no chlorine or fluoride in this water. This is right from nature the way it was intended, from about 300 feet down into the earth and pumped up via 3/4 horsepower water pump in there. And probably the best tasting water I've ever had. Bottled water is nothing. I've had people that come from the city, they drink this water like, oh my God, it doesn't even smell. It's like it's spring water, right? So I'm lucky that way. So the thing is that I lost a lot of weight on it. Obviously, I've been sleeping better because of the lower caffeine. Don't feel quite as drained. I feel a lot more mellow, and I'm a mellow person by nature. Like I get my hyper moments, and I, whatever, go do something crazy like skateboarding or something like that. You think a man at this age would know better, but no, not really. Gotta have fun. You gotta live a little, right? The things that this is, does, it is hard on you. I mean, there's a lot of acids in there. There's all kinds of, the sugar is probably the biggest thing, the caffeine, all that stuff. So that is hard on you. So to cut it out is a good thing. Save it as a treat, no problem. So maybe when I'm in the city and I'm walking around, I might have a Pepsi bottle. I usually have a water bottle and a Pepsi bottle with me all the time, especially if it's hot in the summer, that type of thing. So, okay, but a small one, not the same as drinking a full one like that per day. So that said, cutting this out will be a big thing for me, and we'll see how it goes. But I think last night I was just like, I bought this bottle and I was just like, I gotta finish this thing. You know what I mean? Like I had that kind of feeling like, okay, maybe I'll drink it all in one night just to get it. But then I don't want that feeling of not all the hypertension that you kind of get from it. It's like my blood pressure should be pretty good. I mean, I don't. I eat pretty well. I eat garlic and everything and stuff like that. So once I cut that out, like half the stuff I eat is always pretty good. I always have like onions and garlic and stuff like that, tomatoes and all that stuff, So it's like, there's a mosquito there. So it's like, for me, it's, I do eat fairly healthy, maybe not a complete health nut. That's not my goal, is to become a health nut. But it is, to kind of be a little bit preemptive. I looked at things called like kidney flushing and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, that'd be something that'd probably be a good idea to do at some point. But I don't know if I have to go to that extreme. But I would like to be preemptive on getting stoned. So far, cucumbers, broccoli, celery, garlic, onions seem to be really good for people that don't have like diabetes or stage 1, 2, or 3 of kidney failure or anything like that. So if you don't want to get to that, maybe, again, once you get into your 40s and up, your body can, that's when you start to hurt for no reason. That's when things start to go on you. So the better health you take now, care of yourself now, the better it'll be in the future. Yeah, preachy, preachy, preachy. But it's true, right? So for me, I figured, well, okay, I'll finish this. This is the last glass for now. I'll finish it, maybe, and whatever, just drink water for now, and then maybe buy some apple juice, orange juice. Cranberry juice is supposed to be really good for you for that type of stuff. So I'm looking into that. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's like that. It's good. Orange juice, lemon juice, lemonade. Maybe not. The thing is you got to watch out if you're just substituting one sugary drink for another. So with the bullet, if I grab an actual orange, and just throw it in there, and I don't care about pulp. Pulp doesn't bug me. Rather than try to squeeze the orange, I'll just throw the whole orange in there. You just hit the button and way it goes. Drink one of that a day was probably way better for you than anything, because almost all the concentrated orange juice stuff that you find almost always just loaded up with sugar, so it's no better than that. And the goal is to not just replace one soft drink with another, or one sugary drink with another. So it is going to be. My sister started making smoothies and stuff like that, and she's had some hits and misses for flavor, but apparently carrots aren't the best thing to make a smoothie with. Apparently it's not the same as eating a regular carrot. Apparently the face she made was pretty funny anyway. So I guess it wasn't that good. But I do know this, that you can substitute. One thing I've always liked was those V8 things, but the price of them are so expensive. But if you can make your own, yeah, why not? And there's all kinds of recipes out there. The biggest problem that we have in this household of buying like vegetables and stuff like that is they go bad before we finish them all. But if you're making smoothies, it seems like you can go through it and it doesn't have a chance to go bad on you. So I'm going to start with that. Probably, buy for what I'd be spending on this, say buy a couple of cucumbers a week, a thing of celery a week, a thing of carrots a week. I like that stuff anyway. I like that. But then, add it with whatever. And look at other different recipes of different drinks and stuff like that. But for me, it's not just about being healthy. It has to be enjoyable as well, right? I mean, I am a food person. I am a person that, I can live off of just about anything. But when I enjoy something, it's like, I take, you guys seen some of my barbecuing stuff. I take pride in cooking a good burger or a mean steak or whatever, or making good spaghetti or whatever. I like that stuff. It has to taste good. So if it doesn't taste good, you're probably not going to eat it. So that's one of the things. Like, I guess I just don't enjoy it anymore. Like, it's like, okay, well, I'll drink it because it's there. But the biggest problem is to be healthy is it's so expensive and so inconvenient to be healthy. It's like when you want fresh vegetables and you just want like, okay, I just want a little bit of something. You have to buy a big bulk of something, and it's like celery, for example, you can't buy like a single stick of celery, right? So, mind you, it's cheap enough that whatever. But it's the idea that the stuff goes bad so fast. But it looks like with these smoothie drinks, you have a reason to make it, and it's as quick to make as your regular breakfast. So it's like, okay, well, I'll have that plus probably a sandwich. I'm not going to live off of liquid. You know what I mean? I got a hollow leg. I got to fill it, right? So that type of thing. So there we go. So this. I know a lot of my subscribers, like it's got that Soylent Green baby parts in it and stuff like that. It's all bad stuff. Doesn't mean you can't have one once in a while, but it can get to the point when the more you drink, the more you get it kind of addicted to it, and you actually do go through a bit of a withdrawal. But I find because I cut it down so much that it's just like a couple of days ago, I didn't drink any. I was just like, okay, well, whatever. But I always got it with me and stuff like that. People are, you sponsored by. I should be freaking getting paid by them, but I'm not. That said, I think it's just time to, okay, well, kick that habit. Replace it with. You have to replace a habit with a habit. That I understand. So my new habit will be the making of smoothies. Whatever. And I mean, this thing here, these things work really good. My mom bought it before she passed away a couple of years ago. She maybe used it like 2 or 3 times, and that was about it. But yeah, I didn't know we had one, and my sister just went and bought one, and she loves it. She's like, "Oh yeah, it is," because it's got the cup on it, right? So, I'll do that and make my smoothies with that. It's easier than pulling out. Like we have an old blender that takes up like half the freaking counter, so it's like one of those multi-attached blenders. But that thing is nice and small and whatever, and I mean, heck, That's right there. Probably that cup would be the equivalent of probably the medium-sized 500 and whatever millimeter Pepsi, right? So that might last you a day, if depending on how you drink it. Depends on how much you get out of it, right? So I'm going to look at some recipes, and as I make the recipes, I'll show you guys. I don't really need to go too crazy with what I'm going to do, but I want to maybe do stuff that's different. Today is this, and tomorrow is something new. Get some fruits, do a fruit one, do this, do that. Whatever, make my own lemonade. Lemons are good for certain things, but you also got to watch out for lactate acid. Something, there can be good, there can be bad. So, yeah, so I'm going to get some smoothie recipes, and as I do them, I'll show you how I do them. Again, if I'm going to take pride in cooking a steak, I'll take pride in making, like, the drink that you're going to go, hey, that's a drink, So anyway, there we go. So I'm actually, like, I just want to finish this one, get it over with. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's the way I woke up this morning. Like, last night, I was just like, I wasn't worried about it or anything like that. It was just like, I bought this 2 maybe 3 days ago, and I was like I'm drinking it because I have to drink it, because I paid for it, and I don't want it to go to waste. And I'm just like, I guess I don't want it anymore. It's weird how that is, but I think it's because I cut down so much. And I would say what's more dangerous, just from my observation of myself, is the canned drinks are worse because they're so small, you drink more of them. So you might drink this in a day, but if you had a case of 24, you might drink like one of these and a half a day. That said, this lasted about 3 days. The one before it lasted 2 or 3 days. The one before it lasted 2 or 3 days. So it's like, I just find that it's bringing me down to a level that it's like I'm not getting that craving of caffeine or whatever. The other things too is I want to get crazy with the tea. I know my dad's got a lot of tea. He's got the Red Rose in there. He got like 2 boxes of Red Rose. Only problem I have with tea is, it's like, it seems like it takes forever to, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have a tea. Okay, now I have to wait 10 minutes, that's the thing. I don't drink coffee. I was never a coffee person. To me, coffee, I put so much sugar in it anyway, might as well go with that, and I enjoy the flavor of that more. Plus, you don't have to warm it up, you just pour it and you go. And I kind of like things like that, so maybe I'll do the same thing with the smoothies, maybe see if I can make like a week's worth or whatever. I don't know how fresh the stuff stays. I'll get some recipes and whatever, and then could have that in the morning, have one at night. Water in between. Again, I do drink a lot of water because, it's good for you and all that stuff. So anyway, there we go. So, yeah, there's me kicking a habit. We'll see how well I do. But I'm at the point, like I say, like I don't really crave it right now because it's just like, I've cut back so much, but I've lost so much weight on it. I think that's all the sugar gone, you know what I mean? Like it's, because I haven't changed my eating habits that much. I mean, a little bit. Again, since my mom passed away about 2 years ago, obviously mom cooked up a storm and, it was, heaps and heaps of food. So yeah, the proportions have gotten smaller between my dad and I. Doesn't mean we don't eat junk food from time to time, but like anything, I think I cook a pretty good meal. There's always usually meat and potatoes and vegetables, that type of thing, of some sort. Whether it's chicken or I have beef or pork or whatever. Pork, pork is what it is. It's sometimes I find pork, like I know it sounds gross, but you eat it like 4 times because you're burping it up every 5 seconds, right? But it is good. Like, pork chops are great. But I prefer like chicken and hamburger. Deer meat is the best. If there's like completely clean meat, no steroids. And you don't feel bloated after you eat deer meat or moose meat or stuff like that. It's just so lean, right? So it's really good stuff. Add that with a bit of vegetables and whatever, it's a pretty good mix, But even if you don't change your eating habits, which was a good idea, just getting rid of the sugar from the pop, they say that's the #1 contributor to obesity in the United States. So I think that holds true around the world. Even up here in Canada, it'll hold true. Most people are fat probably because they drink way too much of that stuff. Again, 3 months without really trying to diet at all, and I have no interest in dieting. To me, I want to eat more, not less, But if you're eating healthy stuff like salad, you can never get fat eating salad. You know what I mean? Maybe the salad dressing, but and you need some fat in you too. It's not healthy to be skin and bones, right? So I eat eggs from time to time. I try to have an egg at least once a week. Like that type of thing. Because you only need so much protein. If you want to gain weight, eggs is the way to go, but too much eggs is not good for you either. I know some bodybuilders eat one guy I knew, he was a bodybuilder, and he 24 eggs a day. I'm like, And he was like, I think he was a 22, 24 years old. I'm like, dude, you're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 25. Like that's just way too much. But that's the vanity of bodybuilding for some of it, right? So there can be healthy and then there can be overboard too. So you have to keep everything in moderation. But I think moderation of soft drinks is like, if you had like one a week, yeah, okay, it's not going to have any play on you whatsoever. But I think if you cut it out altogether, again, years ago, I used to drink this stuff at all. Like when I was a kid, I never drank, I never drank pop. Like once every couple of months. It was okay, whatever. But, it's just something I never drank. You know what I mean? And then, you get into the habit of it, right? So, all right, so anyway, I know it was the longest video you ever seen about people doing Pepsi. Quitting, or probably the first one on YouTube about somebody quitting Pepsi. But if you're looking into the health benefits of quitting drinking Pepsi and stuff like that, it doesn't mean you won't goof and do it again. Just as long as you don't get back into the cycle of drinking, one of those a day, that's hard on, especially if you're not an active person. And the diet drinks are even worse with the aspartame in it. That's one thing. I can't stand the taste of the diet drinks. Like at all. Like it's, oh my God, the aspartame, like you can smell it. It's horrible. This is bad enough, you know what I mean? So anyway, there we go. So I'll leave it at that. So if you like this kind of content, please consider making a donation to the channel. Links down below. I will be doing the smoothie updates there. I think you guys are going to enjoy that. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So if you don't have one of these things, these little bullet things, like they're only like $50 or something like that. Some of them might, if you got all the attachments and stuff like that, they're like a couple of $100 if you get like 10 different attachments or whatever. But just the base one's like $50 or $30 or whatever it is. I mean, even if it's a little more, what's your health. But and if you love to cook, you'll probably love doing that too. It's just like liquid cooking instead of making a salad. It's a little different. Next to that, if you want to make a couple of bucks for yourself, you can check out my TSU link. It's down below. It doesn't cost you anything to join up. It's a lot of fun, and by all means, join up under me. And I'm at about $17 now from the making of this video, so it's snowballing slowly, but it's getting there. Next to that, it works a lot like Facebook. It doesn't cost you anything to join up. Do it. Next to that, rate, subscribe, share, comment, like. Be true to yourselves. Be true to others. Always do the right thing, and bottoms up. All right, here's something I'm going to show you. This is something interesting. This is a big day for me. Why? My last one. That's it. Goodbye, Pepsi. I think I'll be okay with it. I mean, it's taken me 3 days to put this bottle down, and I don't know. I just don't want it anymore. I got a smoothie thing. I'm going to start making smoothies. My sister bought one of these things. You got the bullet one? It's kind of like, I guess it's a bullet or whatever it is. Let's see what this thing's called. It's called the Magic Bullet, yeah. Single shot. It's a single shot, yeah. Yeah, so I'll be making all kinds of... Well, I'm going to attempt to be making stuff like that. So, yeah, this is my last one. I think I'm ready to kick it. I might have one once in a while down the road, but probably the last big bottle I'll buy in a long time. Save me a bit of money. It's about $2 something each time, but it's more the health thing. That said, why am I doing it? Well, everybody knows pop is really bad. For energy drinks are really bad. The caffeine, the sugar. Just to give you an idea, okay, I cut back. Okay, this is how bad I've been doing. I've been drinking these pretty much religiously, sometimes 2 of these a day when I was living in town, especially during the summer. Easy drinking 2 of those a day. I know you're cringing. I know you're cringing. Wait for it. So then I cut down to 1 a day. I've been doing that for, I don't know, quite a few years. Probably about 10 years where I really started doing it. I don't know why I did that. There was me and my roommate. And we just started, you'd buy one and I'd buy one. And he'd buy one and then I'd already have one in the fridge. So you just start drinking them and drinking them. You don't think about it. You just do it, right? And I've never had any problems with it. That type of thing. But I am looking into kidney health and stuff like that, and what you call it, liver health and all stuff like that. And these things are really bad. If you have stones, this is definitely the stuff you don't want to be drinking. I don't have stones yet that I know of. Well, I'm probably sure there's some in there because everybody has it. And it's basically, what this does is it sucks the calcium out of your body and it puts it in there, right? So I figured, well, I'll be preemptive and I'll cut down. So about, I guess, 2 months, 3 months ago, I started going down to the 1 little one per day. And then I said, well, why buy 1 little one when the cost is about 10 cents more for the big one? And just drink it over a few days, which works out to about the same. So just cutting down from a big one down to the smaller one, I went from, and keep this in mind, for about almost 20 years, I've been 180, 185 pounds for 20 years, okay? My mid-20s, I went over 200 a few times just because of the beer and the eating and that type of thing. And then before that, I was probably 150, 165 forever. And then, mid-20s, stayed in, the 150, 160 range. Then, of course, got a little bit more money, riding around on a motorcycle, wasn't exercising as much, so I went up to about 220. So I got pretty heavy, but, it's just like, because my friends would always be like, hey, you want to go for supper? Hey, you want to go for supper? And at the time, I could afford it. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. So, of course, you eat stupid, and you eat like 3 big meals a day and all that. But I wasn't into the pop as much.